ミルリフリス先生の新シリーズです。力を持った男がある国を乗っ取るために、その国の騎士、美しい姫、その弟の王子と次々と毒牙にかけていき、のし上がっていくという話なんです。リリ姉様、もしかして
今度会ったらあの腐った頭にグラビティのチョップをお見舞い。
Alright, so this episode of In Another World with My Smartphone was really good. I love the constant confusion and how everybody that Touya kept coming across this episode kept judging him for the smutty reverse harem books that he was, not interested in. Nobody believed him, from the guilds to the bookseller to the princess. Everybody was just like, no judgment. But the princess calling him out because he said, "Oh, I'm engaged to Yumina." She was like, "But she's a girl." Immediately, she was like, "What kind of farce you pulling here, bro? I see what books you be reading. You want a white knight to come in and take you to his palace." So this episode though was really good and really enjoyable. Now, here's the thing that I find interesting about this episode specifically is it wasn't inherently like really funny, and it wasn't inherently like something like that really occurred. Like nothing really happened this episode. This was like a slice of life type episode, right? We definitely got more world building, I guess you could say, and that's probably the main thing. But like we start off and we have the cafe. Okay, so we find out that Touya created a cafe because he didn't know what the hell to do with all these orphans and or not orphans, all these prior slaves that he freed, right? And we find out that he started a cafe. The cafe is something that features really good drinks, I think probably food, and then books, like a really large library of books. So people can come, pay a small entrance fee, and they can, sit there and read books, kind of like a very exquisite, exquisite service-oriented library. And because of all the girls that he has, they have curated a very specific type of books that they carry here, which leans towards the interest of girls in the kingdom, which is cool and okay. So if you look at most of all of his patrons, they're all girls. So I think that is really cool. And then he also employed the adventurers that helped free the slaves as guards. So he gave them jobs and gave them employment as well. So, this is a business for him that he created for these people to help them. And then it's also really good for him, for his notoriety, for his influence, and for money. He also, in tandem with this, we're about to talk about tandem bikes, so that's a perfect little segue there. In tandem with this, he also mass-produced the bikes that he had created. So he's been selling bikes through his shop, and he's using that for income as well. And then I think he's also getting a little slice of the pie for the onsen, for the onsen that he helped create. I think he might be getting like a little incentive or kickback from them as well too. Then the rest of the episode is focused on the reverse harem, smutty books, that I keep calling them smutty books, but the reality is they're just like, reverse harem, girl gets lots of dudes type stories. And he ends up meeting the author of one of them, who ends up being the princess of the Refrees Imperium. He uses Yumina's past knowledge to go and travel there, to go and buy a bunch of different books based on the guild, the girls that work at the guild, their recommendations for him. So he goes and buys a bunch of them. Some of the books I wrote down, one of the books' names was Beneath My Master's Gaze. Wow. Really good books. But he goes and then he meets the princess there, who ends up trying to get him to give her one of the books. And she was like, "I'll sign your books, bro." And he's like, "Why would I want you to sign any of my books?" And we all find out together that she's the princess, and he has a relationship with her now, like a friendship. And they have really cool back and forth. While it's happening, he also spends some time with Yumina. So that was really cute. I love when he spends time with Yumina. She's my favorite. And then he also spends time with Elzy, or Elzy. He gets her some very unique clothing that the guy that he met there originally, who bought the clothes off of him, he had him construct some specific clothing for him. And this was traditional Chinese garb, basically like the traditional Chinese wear that women wear. You typically see red, gold, little slit on the side, looking like Chun-Li. He puts her in it. She looked really cute. They share a really cute moment. I was really disappointed that he didn't kiss her, because it was one of those moments where like it would have been very natural for them to meet each other in their gazes and for him to kiss her in this moment and not be, out of turn or weird for the viewer, for LZ in character. I think this would have been a good moment for him to take action here, because it looked like he wanted to kiss her. Then the episode ends with us finding out that the princess wrote a story about Touya, a man with unlimited power trying to take over the nation. She used him as her inspiration. I thought that was funny. So overall, like, nothing happened this episode. It wasn't comedically really good. I didn't really laugh at anything, but I was engaged and I was in it. And it's very hard to explain why that is, but there was something that just I really enjoyed about the episode. Like, I was engaged and I was like, this is all it was fun. It was a fun episode, but it wasn't like overly entertaining and it wasn't comedic. So it was like a mediocre episode, but I was really enthralled in it. I love this. I love the just nothing happened. And I love that. I love the fact that just nothing happened, but I was entertained. Also, Yumina also climbed another adventure rank as well. She was able to climb to the next level in her adventure rank, and I thought that was good for her too. But nothing happened this episode, but it was still really entertaining, and I really enjoyed it. So, Another World in My Smartphone, episode number 3. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Were you bored? Did you really like it? Did you feel kind of the same way I did? Let me know what you think about these slice of life, really nothing happening episodes. Again, I've said it the last 2 episodes. I'll say it again. I'm just happy this anime's back. One of my favorites. One of the ones that I watch all the time, and I'm just happy that a second season exists. This definitely does remind me of Devil's a Part-Timer. How the first season was just like, it was so good and classic. But the second season it was fine. It just exists. This kind of reminds me of that. All right, I'm going to see you guys on the next video. Peace.